I'm Josh, and this is.
Logan, what's happening, y'all?
Today we're making a video via the web because we've got a lot of time constraints, and you know how it is, doing deals out here. So we're gonna be shooting some in the studio and some like this, but always giving you good content. If you haven't been with us before, we're J.R.Heller. Logan, tell the people a little bit about us.
We run a real estate brokerage. That's my primary focus, and a mortgage brokerage. That's Josh's primary focus. Always looking to add great talent to the team on both ends and just trying to sell as much real estate as possible. Use our active income to push it back into real estate and create some passive income to build some generational wealth.
Yes, sir. That's the name of the game. Helping create a whole bunch of millionaires, right?
That's right, man.
So today we're going to talk to you a little bit about what our days look like, individual to that. Obviously, as Logan said, being in the real estate realtor space, and then me in the mortgage space. What our days look like? What do we do? What are our tasks? And what our days look like. Yeah. But first, we're going to talk about something that's been in the news for a while.
Definitely top priority. Definitely more important than what our days look like.
Yep, for sure. This is pretty crazy, actually. So I'm going to put us to the side. And if anybody has been hearing, it's kind of crazy because this has been happening for a very, very long time, like more than what the news picked it up. But the news within like the last month picked it up and was like going crazy about this. And it wasn't as bad as what people thought it was. But anyway, the FHFA had put in a bill that Joe Biden passed that basically said that they were going to ding people with high credit scores and charge them an extra fee and basically lower the cost to a borrower with a lower FICO. So basically, you're being penalized for having a higher FICO. You're going to get charged more fees. And the lower FICO is actually kind of they're being rewarded. And the idea, obviously, was that we can put borrowers that don't have as much means or a lower FICO into homes. And that's a noble cause. But you don't want to do that at the cost of somebody who's got all their stuff together, right?
Well, yeah. This can't last, in my opinion. And the reason being is because you're enticing people to not pay their bills. Like
Exactly.
the whole system can collapse. It can't last.
Yes.
Even though the bill was passed, it can't be a long-term thing. It's going to be, reversed.
Well, it already is. So that's what I'm talking about. Or that's what we're talking about today. I don't know if you heard, but so
I
yesterday
did not hear, no.
they reversed it. They reversed it yesterday. They rescinded it as of Wednesday. And so what had happened, actually a lot of brokers and a lot of lenders and a lot of people were coming to FHFA and up in arms over this basically. And so they pulled the plug. It's no longer going to happen.
Yeah.
And so
I knew that was going to happen. I didn't know it happened yesterday,
Yep.
but I knew it couldn't last.
Yep, it's gone. So it is no longer going to happen. A lot of people were all really worried about it because they didn't realize it didn't affect FHA, it didn't affect USDA, it didn't affect VA. It was only for conventional. And there were some other stuff in there. So it wasn't as crazy as what the news made it. Like the news made it seem like if you have a high FICO and you go get a loan, you're going to get charged 10% more. They were kind of put, which is what the media does. But the good news is this is gone. It's kiboshed. Justice has prevailed, so it will not be happening.
Can you imagine if somebody, I bet there had to have been at least one person out there that saw this news and was like, oh, I'm going to tank my credit score. And they just started
There's probably multiple, man. There probably really was. They're probably, oh, yes, I'm going to go.
They have no recourse.
Mm-hmm. Now they're going to try and sue and say, I tried to lower my score for this.
Exactly. That's actually not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the wrong business. We should pass the bar.
You're right. Yeah. Become attorneys. But so yeah, that's the good news. Gone. Don't have to worry about that anymore. So just wanted to start off the video talking about that bit of information. But let's get into it. Logan, what does your day look like as a realtor?
I mean, different every day, right? It's not like we have set schedules by any means. But with the position that I'm in here at J.R.Heller, more of the leadership position, obviously I do my best to work on the business, not in the business as much as possible. Obviously, with us growing, I am still working in the business every single day, but looking to continue to grow, create new relationships, and build out the business. That way, again, like you said, we create successful realtors and investors. Basically every day I wake up and I have emails, text messages, missed calls from either the night before or early morning. I had people messaging me this morning at 5 in the morning. It's like, come on, I'm not getting back to you until 7:30, 8 o'clock. So just following back up with those people, making sure, like this morning I had to set up two different showings for this coming weekend. One's an investor client, one's just a, retail first time home buyer, trying to help them get into a home before they get married. So, going through everything that's like time pertinent on my phone, I do my best to get back to any and all clients, business partners, anybody as quickly as possible. So that's first and foremost. Then obviously we have personal lives too. We both have kids, so I make sure the kids get up into school and they're fed breakfast and everything, get them rolling. Then once I get back, either to my house where I'm at right now or at the office, it's time to get to work. So I know you and I do things a little bit differently when it comes to what's the first thing on the task, right? And you can obviously speak to this, but I'm pretty sure you focus on new business first. I focus on what I already have pending. Like if I have deals going on, I even shot you a text already this morning. Hey, where are we at with this one deal? Because I know I have a settlement coming up in a week. I want to make sure that everything is hunky dory with that, and we're either clear to close or about to be clear to close, and make sure we're set up for success on everything that's already in the works. After I kind of do a check in on everything that I have already running, then it's all right, time for new business. And that's where I'm, going out, creating relationships, whether it's door knocking, whether it's, cold calls, emails, I'm doing that sort of stuff just to trying to acquire new business. And then typically afternoons and evenings are filled with showings and children's sports. Again, flexible schedule, but also, if you're not getting stuff done every day, then you're not going to progress.
Yeah.
You got to continue to be consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a couple good things you touched on there. One would be you mentioned, working on the business versus in the business. And I think regardless of where you're at and position wise within an organization, you're always going to be doing a little bit of both, right? And those things change. So, like even as an agent, let's say you are not, you're not, a broker owner or a broker building out, a team. You can still be working in your business versus on your business, and what that looks like is, do you have the right CRMs in place that are offloading some of that stuff, the tasks that you need to do? Maybe you could hire a TC if you get to a certain level, a transaction coordinator who can take off some of the transactional stuff so you can focus on the money making activities of the business, right? And so you always, even if you're not trying to run a big brokerage or hire a bunch of agents, you constantly want to be looking at ways that you can work on the business, which is leverage points, basically. The only difference between working in something and on something means you're creating a system so that you can take leverage out of the equation or leverage into the equation and leverage some of the daily tasks that you need to do, offload them into something else. I know agents that pay a Philippine somebody from the Philippines, like a secretary or whatever you want to call it, an assistant. You can pay them $3-4 an hour, and they could be doing some of the menial stuff that they could even draft emails for you. Now you got Chat GPT to lean on. You could utilize that. So like I think that's a good point that you brought up. You're always at some capacity going to be working in your business, but you want to make sure that some of your time or some of your daily habits are working on the business as well.
That's the only way to grow.
Correct. So that was a great point. And then flow and focus was another one you brought in. We do have a little bit different of schedule as far as what we focus on immediately and kind of tasks. But basically, Well, actually, I'll just give you my synopsis my whole way through. And again, like Logan says, it changes daily, right? And it changes all the time too, depending on, we have a lot of moving parts in our business. So if we hire a new LO, which we just did, or somebody else, there's things that the schedule changes, right? And also you got to put out fires a lot too. So sometimes
Yeah.
you're constantly having to drop one thing you're doing and pick up something else, put the fire out, and then get back to it. But so what I do, my daily is I'll give you the whole thing. This is what my day looks like. I wake up at 8 o'clock, actually 7:45, and I get my dog out. I feed him. I come up, take a shower. My wife and daughter are still sleeping. By 8 o'clock, they're up. I'm out of the shower. My wife gets Lorelai ready. I take her to school. She's in school at 8:40. I go get Starbucks, come back to the office. Usually I will work out for half an hour to 45 minutes. I did not this morning because of another business, so I didn't have the chance to. So that's going to get pushed to the afternoon today. Come in here. Typically, what we'll do is me and Logan, if it's a Wednesday or a Thursday, we'll shoot a YouTube. But typically, what I'm doing when I first get in is I actually go through all of my emails. So I go through all of my emails and make sure that there's no fires or anything I need to put out, anything immediately. I go through all that. And then my focus is new business, like Logan said. So new business to me, sorry, voicemail. New business to me means loan apps in pending status, meaning app intake, meaning anything that has come in from the day previously or afternoon. I'm going through them. I'm going to follow up with them if we don't have all the information we need to run the app. So we're going through all that stuff. And then I'm going to focus on switching to touching base with my pre-approved and pre-qualified clients, making sure they're all good, asking if they need anything from us, all that good stuff. And then the afternoon, I'm going to focus on deal flow, right? So like the deals that we have pending, like Logan said, I'm going to make sure there's no fires or anything like that. So I'm going to work with Teresa, who is our processor, make sure we're on pace for everything. We have a Thursday pipeline meeting, which is today, later in the afternoon. And then after that, I focus on long-term follow-up, basically anything that's been in the weeds that I can drum up some new business. And that's kind of the daily flow in a nutshell without too many interruptions in there.
Yeah, there's always interruptions, and that's a part of being a business owner, though. You gotta be versatile and be quick on your feet, and like you said, ready to put out any fires that come across the plate. Always something going on, man.
Yep.
It's always something,
Yep.
and it's like, you wish it was simple and easy, but then if it was, everyone would do it. So,
Absolutely. Well, and that's how you learn and grow and get better. And the bigger fires you're putting out means that you're more and more successful. So I love Elon's thing of starting a business is he said his one friend told him that starting a business is like eating glass and staring into the abyss.
I don't know if it's quite that painful, but
Well, it depends what kind of business you're starting. If you're trying to start a rocket company, that probably would be like eating glass and staring into the abyss. I feel like that's probably not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine where to even start there. But again, you got to have money to be able to do that.
Yeah.
He was able to inject how many millions into that company starting out.
All
So,
of his money. All of his money.
yeah. Yeah, he was able to put the right people in place, and that's another huge part of any business, putting the right people in place.
Yeah, well, and that's where again, I touch on like solopreneurs or like anybody who's small, even like don't like you almost have to look at your organization as everybody you associate with, not just the people on your team or under your company. Like, I mean, think about in this business, particular as real estate, you have a title company. You have a listing agent or a buyer agent on the other side. You could have attorneys involved. You have a lender. You have a mortgage broker. You have an appraiser. You have an inspector. All of these people are actually they're teammates within that deal. So
Yep.
you need to leverage all of them just as you would an employee, right? And so you leverage every section to make the deal happen. And so I and then you can go even a step further on that is like We use Conversion Monster, right? Conversion Monster calls all of our leads and vets our leads and pre-qualifies them for us and sets appointments and books appointments for us. They're not technically part of J.R.Heller, but they are. They are a key team member in the company. And so you need to look at ways that you can leverage even outside third-party vendors and bring them into your organization. And that's where you're talking about, if you can do that successfully, um, that's your leverage points. That's you working in your business and not on your business. So there's a way to automate there's a way to automate every single process within every single business. There is. And it doesn't mean automation via computer or AI. It means there's a way to systematically make it so that the same tasks are being done every single time, and a person knows and is trained on how to do that efficiently. And you can move parts around. It's like being on a chessboard. It's a living mechanism that is like a machine. Every gear, every switch, everything in a machine has its job, it has its role, and if it's working smoothly, it produces the wanted end result. A business is no different.
Yep, I agree.
So, and so yeah, I mean, coming back to a little bit on like the differences, and so like if you, let's say you were interested in getting into real estate or the mortgage world, obviously there's some time constraint differences. There's some things that make processes different. So it's really up to personal preference. But like, if you like being out on the road and not sitting in an office all day, you want to feel the sun and get out and see nice homes and
Or face-to-face interaction. You actually get to
face-to-face.
build the face-to-face relationships
Yep.
because I know I personally, actually, it's ironic. We actually just had a comment on one of our Facebook posts about how, like the trustworthiness, right? Because
Yep.
people, until you have like a reputable brand like Rocket Mortgage, everybody knows who Rocket Mortgage is at this point. But when you're a smaller company and you're trying to create that rapport with the potential client, it will turn them in from a customer to a client. I am big on face-to-face interactions. If I get in front of somebody, they're going to understand that I have their best interests in mind, and I can speak, intelligently to whatever the problem is.
Yeah, that's so funny that you mentioned that too, because and there's different ways to gain trust, right? And so yesterday we were on a call that a borrower, and he said, "I got to tell you, I went on your landing page, I signed up, I put the information in, and the first thing I got was an email from you with a YouTube video on you introducing yourself and the company and what you stand for." And he said, "I watched that YouTube, and I said," he was like, how you can just tell about people, like you can feel if they're actually wanting to help you or if they're just a scumbag." He was like, "That video went so long for me, I could feel that you actually had like good intentions and you wanted to help me." And I was like, "This is the guy I'm working with." And
Yep.
so, whether it's, a YouTube or obviously face to face is the best. But you have to build rapport with somebody. They want to know that you're going to treat them fairly and in their best interest. So it's nice to
And
hear those kind of things.
and that goes back to working on versus in. You created that system there, and that's going to increase how many conversions for you. I mean, you might get how many people filling out, hitting the landing page, but then from seed to sale, you're probably looking at 10% conversion rate, 20% conversion rate. Well, you might jump that up to like 20 to 40 then.
Correct. And I think we should do a video on this at some point. I won't go too far into this right now, but that's exactly right. And if you look, so like I took the time to film what, 8, 9 YouTubes, and basically it is our intro, following up. It actually goes through
Where you're at in the process
where
and
you're
everything
at in the
like that.
process.
Yeah.
So actually, let me just see if I can pop our YouTube up. Um,
While you're touching on that, I want to remind everybody to be creating goals for yourself and for your business and crushing them. I had set a goal for myself and our team for year one. Not that we've been around just for a year, the company's been around for years, but I've been in the position I'm in since the fall of last year. So I spent the fall and the winter last year kind of getting prepped and ready to go for the start of this year. And I sought out to do 10 million in sales year one, and we're currently sitting just shy of 6 million. And we're not even halfway through the year. So keep setting those goals and keep crushing those goals.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, I think might have to have a little surprise for Lolo if he hits that goal. I don't know.
No surprises. We already did one for my birthday. That was enough.
Maybe I already got one in the works. Who knows?
Go pop our YouTube up.
All right, so here's our YouTube over here. And so some of these are the videos that happen. So like this is the intro one that the gentleman said he watched the other day and was like, wow, like I really
the only way to do it is to automate it. What Zapier?
Only way to do it is to automate it.
Shopify store, WooCommerce.
Hi, this is J.R.Heller. I'm the owner here at J.R.Heller. Thank you so much for reaching out regarding getting a home loan and buying a property. I wanted to introduce myself and say thank you. We have a group of highly experienced mortgage and real estate professionals here that can help you achieve your dream of home ownership or help you refinance your home. So if you would, I would greatly appreciate, if you haven't done so far and you're looking to purchase, go ahead and fill out our online loan application. That will give us the information.
So yeah, so this is just an intro to the company, right? It's an intro to me, the company, what we stand for, why we're here, why we're in business, right? What's your why? And then directing the client, okay, this is the next steps. This is what you need to do. And so we have a bunch of videos like this that just go through the process of where the specific client is and answer any questions they have. This is going to multiply your time, right? This multiplies your outreach. And so instead of, you having to hop on the phone and do this call okay, my wife's in the YouTube. I was like, who the heck is rolling up on me?
What's up, Jess?
I didn't answer the phone because I was on a YouTube.
Yeah, you ignored me.
She got angry at me. That's what happened. So now she showed up.
Usually you have the door locked. I'm surprised she could get in.
You're right. I usually do for instances like this. So
when you said it, I'm like, I have to show up now because I was going to the dog store.
This will be the first appearance that my wife Jess is on our YouTube channel. So we'll have to
crop me out.
Yeah, we'll have to crop her out. Well, cool. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I just walked over. I'm gonna go get King a birthday present.
Today's King's birthday.
Yeah. What year?
What is he?
He's 7.
No way.
He's an old man. He's getting gray like me.
That's crazy.
He's 7.
But I'm gonna go get him a birthday treat.
Cool. Get him something good.
At the pet store.
All right. Get him something good. We're about to finish this YouTube.
All right.
All right.
Love you.
I love you. Mwah.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye,
for stopping in.
See you, Jess.
So you can leverage information like this, right? You can leverage videos, you can leverage campaigns, you can leverage even questionnaire stuff as far as like if you have like a Q&A on a website where you can push somebody to a resource where they can get the answers and you don't always have to be the person providing it, right? So that's what these videos and that kind of stuff does.
It's actually cloning yourself,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cloning yourself, cloning your time. So very important and something good to implement in your business if you haven't already. But yeah, that's kind of the differences between. Well, anyway, so we were going back. I want to talk about like as a lead call. So this is a good another. So this is Conversion Monster. They're calling right now, and they're going to call back again because I didn't answer. They're trying to live transfer a lead over to me, right? And if they can't get me, they're going to set an appointment for me to talk to them. So that's a leverage point. Here they are, calling again. They call you twice, don't answer, they schedule an appointment. So how nice would that be? And shout out to Conversion Monster because they are pretty amazing.
I'm actually on a Zoom webinar with them at 11 today.
Oh, you really? Okay.
On recruitment and retention,
okay.
in the business.
Oh, you know what? I saw that one.
Yeah, the biggest thing, you actually are the one who forwarded it to me. But yeah, the biggest thing with recruitment and retention is relationships, guys.
Yeah.
You always want to be having a strong relationship and letting your team understand that you're there for them at all times. Even today, I'm going out with one of my, one of the agents that work with us, and having lunch with him just to kind of talk about his goals and, structure how we can move forward and make sure that he's crushing whatever goals he has for his, real estate career.
Yep. Everybody within an organization is a collaborative team that is pushing focus towards one end result, right? And so the end result needs to align with everybody else's personal goals as well. The company goals have to align with the personal goals, and that's creating a team, a framework to push everybody into the future. It's the same as like a family, right? Your family needs to be aligned. Everybody in the household needs to be aligned on where you're steering the ship. And if you're not, then you guys are going to veer off into different areas, and neither one of you will be happy because you're not aligned. It's the same within a business.
And that comes back to communication.
Yep.
And that comes back to relationships.
Yep.
As long as you have the right relationship and it's open-ended communication and everybody feels comfortable and knows that you're there for them, then it's no problem at all, whether it's family or business or even a stranger, right? You run into somebody and you strike up conversation with them. They can tell within the first 30 seconds if you're a kind, genuine person or if you're just selfish and worried about yourself.
Not only that. I mean, it makes such an amazing work environment, like a place that you actually want to come. You actually want to do the daily things because you're a family, you're a team. It's fun. You're enjoying successes together and you're going through challenges together, and their communication is there. It's not like you're just showing up to get a paycheck and then going home and have no insight or no communication within an organization. I mean, it's critical to have that. I mean,
100%. I mean, you and I are texting each other daily, all day long.
I talk to you more than I do my wife. She tells me too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's the most important thing.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
It definitely, especially if you're trying to accomplish something too, right? Because you can't do that without communication. I mean, it's impossible. So, but yeah, So those are all really great key points, and I would say, obviously, the real estate industry in general is a great industry, no matter what facet you go down, whether it be investment, real estate as a realtor broker. Mortgage company, and I've done all of those. I've done all of those, and honestly, each one can bring you success, and really it's beautiful because there's so many different lanes to go down within the real estate space, and I would argue that it's almost like one path will fit each mindset for what your strengths and weaknesses are and what you're looking for. So,
Yep.
If you have any interest at all in getting into the industry, please reach out to me or Logan. We would love to just have a conversation with you more in depth, answer any questions you might have. But I think that's pretty good for the video.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. If you're getting value, please subscribe, share this with a friend, and if there's anything you want us to touch on, please leave comments. I've been seeing a lot more comments recently, so I'm greatly appreciate that. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers now, which is awesome. And we've steadily been growing. So that's really awesome to see. And I greatly appreciate everybody here tuning in and watching. So thanks, guys.
See you guys.